Welcome to Sci-Fi Stories. If you love stories of courage and mystery, make sure to subscribe and join our growing community.
The Galactic Council Survival Academy was not a school. It was a filter. Located on the untamed world of Tarsize 9, the facility was carved directly into a mountain range known for electrical storms, venomous megafauna, and terrain that shifted with seismic instability. Graduation rate, 58%. Dropout rate, 42%. Those who survived wore their insignia for life. Commander Varkthel of the Karate Dominion stood on the observation platform, watching trainees struggle through their third week. A 36-cycle-old Andori colonist had just failed to purify water correctly. Emergency drones intervened. Another candidate withdrew voluntarily. Varkthel clicked his mandibles in approval. Only the strong endure. Commander, his adjutant said, the human evaluators have arrived. Varkthel turned. 2 humans entered the chamber. No armor. No visible fear. They looked young. I am Commander Varkthel, he announced. You are here to assess our survival doctrine. The taller human extended his hand. Ryan Carter. Outdoor Education Director. The other smiled warmly. Dr. Maya Collins. Youth Development Specialist. Youth? Varkthel narrowed his eyes. You wish to understand our elite survival conditioning. Actually, Ryan said casually, we're curious how it compares to human programs. For 2 hours, Varkthel proudly displayed the academy. Artificial biomes simulating deserts, tundras, jungles. Controlled predator encounters. Scheduled deprivation cycles. Emergency rescue beacons embedded in every trainee's suit. Psychological monitoring 24 hours per rotation. This, Varkthel declared, represents the pinnacle of wilderness preparation. Maya tilted her head slightly. Impressive. Ryan nodded. So your minimum trainee age is 25 cycles. Brain development must be complete. Maya exchanged a glance with Ryan. Would you like to see what human children do during summer break? The word translated awkwardly. Summer break? She activated her tablet. The first video appeared. Tiny humans. 6, 7, 8 cycles old. Dropped into forests. Carrying small packs. No drones visible. No beacon suits. No environmental controls. They built shelters from branches. They gathered firewood. One child struck flint against steel until sparks caught. Flame bloomed. Varkthel stepped forward. Where are their survival supervisors? Ryan pointed. That 15-year-old over there. Varkthel's spiracles flared. That is an adolescent. Yep. And they are responsible for the smaller ones. Usually. Another clip played. Children canoeing across a lake. Climbing rock faces. Identifying edible plants. Sleeping in tents they assembled themselves. Duration. Varkthel asked stiffly. 6 to 8 weeks, Maya said. Sometimes longer. In uncontrolled wilderness? Pretty much. Varkthel turned slowly back toward the training grounds below. A 42-cycle-old Valorian cadet was celebrating successfully building a shelter, using a digital instruction module. Ryan folded his arms gently. We call it summer camp. Camp, Varkthel repeated. Yes. Parents send kids because they spend too much time indoors. The commander's worldview shifted on its axis. You mean, this is recreational? Mostly, Maya said. We want them to build confidence. Resilience. Teamwork. Varkthel accessed human biological data. At 8 cycles, humans were not fully mature. Physically smaller. Neurologically developing. And yet, they thrived in wilderness conditions comparable to Academy Level 2 simulations. Ryan leaned against the observation rail. Humans evolved on a death world, he said lightly. Ice ages. Predators. Drought. Floods. If our ancestors couldn't survive outside, we wouldn't be here. We just never stopped teaching the young, Meyer added. Below, another trainee triggered a medical drone by stepping into toxic flora. Varkthel imagined an 8-year-old human encountering similar plants. They would probably poke it. Then Google it. Then argue about it. And somehow survive. Do human children fear wilderness? He asked quietly. Ryan smiled. Sometimes. Maya nodded. But fear isn't a stop sign for us. It's a teacher. Silence filled the chamber. Varkthel reviewed casualty projections. Adaptability metrics. Psychological resilience studies. Humans scored unusually high in problem-solving under stress. Now he understood why. They began training before their bones fully hardened. Not through brutality. Through play. Fire was not forbidden. It was taught. Isolation was not punishment. It was adventure. The next cycle, Varkthel submitted his formal report. Recommendation. Humans exempt from standard 6-month survival conditioning. Secondary recommendation. Council to study human juvenile resilience frameworks. Addendum. Proposal for interspecies wilderness exchange program. 8-cycle-old human children instructing fully grown galactic officers. The idea should have been laughable. Instead, it felt inevitable. Weeks later, the first exchange began. A small human girl stood before a group of armored alien soldiers twice her height. My name's Emma, she announced proudly. Today we're learning how to build a fire without whining. Varkthel observed from a distance. An armored veteran of 3 campaigns struggled to strike flint properly. Emma sighed. You're holding it wrong. She adjusted his grip. Spark. Flame. The veteran stared at the fire like it had personally insulted him. Emma grinned. See? Easy. Varkthel recorded one final note in his private log. Never underestimate a species whose children treat survival like recess. In a galaxy that required decades to produce hardened explorers, humans produced them before adolescence. Not because they were reckless. Not because they were savage. But because, somewhere in their evolutionary memory, the wilderness was not an enemy. It was home.